It is worth noting that the IABA is intended as a networking organisation to put people together with people so that we can share from our experiences. And between the people that are in the room, there is a significant amount of the business community in Ireland who have been pioneering and going into India. I know that you've done an awful lot of networking before the event, and hopefully you get the chance to do a little bit afterwards in terms of sharing experience. From an information sharing perspective, we've also set up a significantly enhanced website, which should act as a one-stop shop for people with information going into India before they get there. We have legal advice on that, we have tax advice, we have economic advice, we have a database of members so people can be put through to each other. We have member-specific areas, and also regular updated business news from India. So I think if you haven't already checked the website out on www.iiba.ie, you should do. Harking back earlier on to the practical assistance, we have been able over the last 18 months to put people in touch with the right advisor in India, the right joint venture partner, and also just people at a very basic level learning from people's experience from having previously gone into India and what mistakes they may have made and what they wouldn't do again. In that regard, myself and Vice Chairman Enright Salas travelled to India earlier this year, setting up contacts on the ground. The goal is to have a network of people on the ground, both advisors, joint venture partners, the business community, so that when people go out there we can put them in touch with people on the ground who can help them and give them practical assistance. And we also plan to do a further India visit this year, with the goal ultimately of formalising either a sister network or a branch network of the IABA in India on the ground between Irish business executives who are on the ground and Indian executives who are trading a lot with Ireland. I mentioned it before and I'll mention it again, members are the lifeblood of this organisation. We need your ideas, we need your involvement, we need your time, and without that we wouldn't be where we are today. We also need to grow the membership, we need continued support for sponsorship, and I know that you'll continue to travel on the journey with us. I'm very grateful to the other members of the committee and many others around the room who have helped us get as far as we have with the committee to date. All the time is voluntary and it's very well appreciated. As a member-driven organisation, we have over 120 Irish and Indian companies as part of our membership at this point, but we're nothing without the individual companies who are members and who have both continued their membership and sponsored us. So if you can bear with me for a moment, I just want to acknowledge a few people and say some thank yous. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge Etihad as our sponsors today. They have been long-time partners of the IABA, and we're joined today by Danny Barringer, who's Regional Manager for Europe, and also by Beatrice Cosgrove, who's the Country Manager for Ireland. So I'd like to welcome them and all of their guests. We're also joined by HSBC, who we had a fine event in September with, and so I want to welcome Alan Duffy and all of his colleagues and guests today. I'd like to welcome Ken McKnight and CRH. Ken gave a very fine speech this year and he'll be relieved that we're not going to call him up to do it again, but maybe next year. Bank of Ireland as well, who've been long time involvement with us. Tony Martin and Brian Wally are on our committee and I'd like to welcome them and their guests today. Enterprise Ireland, in particular Fred Klinkenberg and his colleagues have been very supportive of us. The IDA with Dermot Clohessy and his colleagues. Fergus Murphy of EBS is on our governing committee and he's here today with many of his colleagues and clients. And also KPMG with Terence O'Rourke, Enright Salas and all of their colleagues and clients. You're all very welcome today. But it's not just Irish companies who are based here. It's also Indian companies who will join us today, and I'd like to welcome Fergal Murphy of Pinewood Walkart who joined us today. I'd like to welcome Dave Kelly of Tata Communication Systems. Sean Canning of First Source, who recently expanded in Derry, is with us, and Rachel Armstrong of Jagran, who recently set up their European headquarters in Ireland, is with us today, so I wish her well in that.